episode of the Lured Up Podcast is brought to you by our Patreon. Everything we do here at the Pokemon Professor Network is powered by the community. You can join our community of supporters on Patreon over at patreon.com/Pokemon Professor, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support a range of join a range of support tiers with various benefits, and all patrons will gain access to our patron exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. So head over to patreon.com/Pokemon Professor, and you can support a collective of hardworking part-time creators that have a passion for Pokemon podcasting and the community here at the Pokemon Professor Network. All right, let's do it. What's going on, Pokemon Go trainers? Welcome to episode 351 of Lured Up, the podcast where we take Pokemon Go way more seriously than we do ourselves. Lured Up is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. This episode is streaming live on Twitch, YouTube, X, and Facebook. I'm your host, Ken Pescator, and today, filling in for Adam, we have Jamal Harvey of the Wayspotters Podcast. Yay! What's up?
What's a few meters between friends, everybody? What's going on? How we doing today?
What's happening, man?
Dude, it's an honor to be on Lured Up. I for those of you who know, I spent years listening to this podcast and then became a patron, and then and now I'm on it. I'm here. I made it.
It's so awesome.
I made it.
I appreciate you filling in for Adam. Adam's work schedule changed, so going forward, we're going to be recording or streaming on Tuesday nights. Going forward, but Jamal was kind enough to step in and fill in Adam's shoes tonight. So Jamal, let's take a quick moment.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Adam's the man. People love Adam, man. It's fantastic. But
absolutely
take a moment, introduce yourself. Let's talk about the Wayspotters Podcast, man. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, but well, I've never seen a mic and a camera that I didn't love and didn't love me. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Blame Jamal. I am the co-host of the Wayspotters Podcast along with Chris, Professor Glaw. And, we do a little podcast on the Pokemon Professor Network where we talk about how to get wayspots on the map, how to keep wayspots on the map, how to improve wayspots, how to nominate, how to review. And we get into some shenanigans and tell dad jokes and do some goofy little things on our podcast. And I've been associated with the network for a while. Like I said, I was a patron. And then I filled in on some things before. But if you guys are at all interested on how you get those little spinny things, those Jimmy Jims on the map, give Wayspotters a listen. You can go to the best way to do it, Ken, is to go to Linktree and just type in Wayspotters. And from there, you will get a plethora of ways to get in touch with us and buy some merch and buy some Lured Up merch, get some stickers, all that good stuff.
Awesome.
I'm happy to be here.
Love it, man. Love it. So happy to hear you. Adam's actually here in the chat. Get to work, Adam. Like you're supposed to be working right now, and you're here. He says, "What's a few meters between co-hosts?"
That's right.
That's awesome.
What's a few meters? That's good. I like that. That's good.
Nice. So we got plenty to talk about on today's show. We're going to recap the last week of gameplay. Of course, we had Yamper's Paw Prints, Jangmo-o Community Day, the Ancients Recovered Raid-a-thon that's kind of plaguing all of our wallets at the moment. And this last week, the past 2 weeks really have been a raid-heavy, ticket-heavy, resource-gobbling swath of gameplay that kind of is right between
my wallet,
dude.
Hurt.
It's bad
right now.
Dude.
My wallet hurts.
It is crazy.
Between just getting over, coming back from IRL Jersey City, with plane tickets and Airbnb and food and all of that, travel costs. Not to mention the money that I spent on coins while I was there, because I think everybody probably bought the big box and you bought all the ads on and the t-shirts and the book bags, and then you get back home and you kind of exhale for a minute, and then you turn around and here comes 4 or 5 more events, and you want to try to exhale, and then here's Global Go Fest. It's like there's a lot that's expected of the trainer right now.
Yeah. This has been a pretty spend heavy month, and usually sometimes we'll get a calm before the storm or this in between period. Something like last year we had no time in between New York and Global. Now we had a couple weeks, but then they threw these other events and passes at us. We'll break it all down, we'll talk about it. It's a lot of spending, but here we are getting making it happen and reaching into our pockets. So I want to hear everybody's feedback on how deep their hands are reaching down there because the game is asking a lot of trainers right now.
It's
Pokemon Go.
asking a lot right now.
They produced and released an incredible video featuring Wayne, the community ambassador for the Essex community group. And the video is amazing. It's 7 minutes long. I encourage everyone to take 7 minutes to watch it. So I just want to reflect and talk on the community ambassador group a little bit and what it's done in my local area and across the state of New Jersey. And it was just really awesome to see Wayne and New Jersey represented on the global scale here, doing an event at Bryant Park in New York at GoFest. Over the GoFest weekend. It was just really nice to see. So I'll definitely have that link in the description. Everyone should watch it. Hits you right in the feels and kind of reminds you why community leaders are leaders. And he epitomizes kind of this positive beacon of trainer that communities rely on and need. So we'll talk about that. And looking out to July, we'll kick the month off with the 9th anniversary party event, which brings shiny Gimmighoul, costume Gimmighoul, and we know that's going to be a chase. So that one will be a good event. That's July 1st, so that's right at the beginning of the month. And they did release, they kind of snuck up on us and released the content update for July that we're going to thumb through because there's still plenty of content left in June to get through with Global and all that. But there is some really cool news coming in July. And some exciting stuff that we could spend more money on raid passes to raid. So we'll talk about that.
I tell you, Ken, they don't want us to take a breath. No. They don't let us finish a good thing before we get another good thing. It's like they're building in that FOMO. Like, you need to have one eye on Global Go Fest, but then July's right around the corner, and it's like, get ready to do more. And it's like, I think all the trainers just want a break. Give us July 4th weekend just to kind of woosah, and then we'll be ready to go. But no, it's just going to keep going and keep going and keep going.
So many people I've heard like, oh, I'm going to take it easy this week. I'm going to recover. Not even like coming out of the Go Fest IRL. It's like, man, I'm an old man. It's like I need like a physical time for my feet to recover. This isn't just like monetary or like mental. I'm like, no, man, my bones are hurting right now. Like I need some Dr. Scholl's, like something fierce. I got corns.
Right. Been out there pounding the pavement. I mean, we were doing 30,000 steps a day during GoFest, and GoFest Global is going to be more of the same. People are going to be out there, and if you're on the Midwest or the East Coast, it's going to be hot this weekend. So be safe, hydrate, trainers. I'm channeling my inner Adam. Make sure you hydrate, train.
Yeah. I did 100,000 steps Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Jersey City and New York. So it was the first day I did 38.5, which was one of the biggest days. In Seattle, I did 36. And then I think 37 in New York last year, and then 38.5 this year was crazy. It was wild.
And you probably went through a whole pair of shoes.
Dude, I ruined my feet, man. I bought some new Air Maxes, didn't break them in, like put them on my feet the day of. I was like, yo, these looking fly. I went fashion over function.
Blisters.
And, dude, my pinky toes were like holding on for dear life. They're just like flopping around in there, just like, help. It was bad. But then finally, and very timely and fortunate that we have you here to talk about this. The Wayfarer community is kind of buzzing behind the scenes right now as a few different regions of the U.S. where game boards are going completely blank. And Jamal, I can't wait to talk to you about this. We do have a small one-sentence bit of information from the other side, and but we'll talk about it because this is definitely a potentially sensitive tinfoil hat moment of what people are kind of talking about and speculating on. So at the end of the show, we'll definitely dig into that. But let's start off with this last week of gameplay. We had Yamper's Paw Prints. I dug this event. I like when Niantic, soon to be Scopely, when they have these small events, but they rotate timed research every day. So even though it's a small event, it feels diverse. You have like a different day's worth of thing. And they did that with 3 different timed research. There was tons of dog Pokemon on the map. Shiny boosted, not for me. I mean, I got one Poochyena or something like that, but I saw people posting like 4 or 5 like of the Furfrou. I'm like, yo, where are these Pokemon? Like, I don't see them anywhere. It was not for me. But I don't know how you did.
I got a shiny Poochyena. And that was it. That was just one shiny. No, I take that back. I got a shiny Poochyena and a shiny Houndour.
I was
But
waiting
that was
for
it.
like
But
a Snubble.
they
I was like, come on.
no, goodness, man. I don't have the best shiny luck, so I don't really get too excited for shinies. I'm like, if I get one, I get one. But the thing that I liked about this was the rotation. It wasn't the same. It changed, and it kind of varied it up. So those of us who are working day jobs, it's like you're doing something. It's like, oh, this is different. You get a chance to get in there. So I did like that because sometimes things get real repetitive and they get kind of boring and you kind of tune out. But this every day with it changing kind of kept you involved. I kind of like that a lot.
Yeah, and I actually really like that it was a doggy kind of event. You know, when we have events that are even like an adventure week or a water week or something like that, and the spawn pool somewhat has some cohesive nature to it, but this one was like, oh, they're all dogs. This is easy, right? It's like, yeah, that's a Poochyena, that's a Yamper, you know, that's a bull, you know, a Fido, you know what I mean? It was like all dogs. It was, so I like that part of
I
it.
love seeing Fido on the map. I don't know why. I just love catching Fido. Maybe because when it came out, it was so like limited that when I see a Fido, it's like, oh, I got to stop what I'm doing and I got to make sure I pay attention. Okay, got it. And then I'll go and check it and favorite it. I don't know. Fido is becoming one of my favorite dogs. I don't even have a connection to it, but it's just cool to see it on the map.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I thought that the timed research was good. 99-cent ticket. We don't see these too much anymore. Everything's kind of in that $2 minimum range. So
right, $1.99.
Yeah, so for 99 cents wasn't too bad. You know, I remember you go back a year or even 2 years on the show, and we were always talking about how, like, you know, spending the dollar on community days, that's where the tickets really started, was a big deal. It was like, oh man, another buck. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, now all of a sudden it's like this is second nature and kind of part of the process, for better or for worse. But this one wasn't too bad. I mean, you got some extra encounters and some dust, but 4 incense. So for $1, you got 4 incense. We talked last week how
which pays for it.
Yeah, you
that's
know, the incense is a crucial item and a consumable that even at you know, the normal shop price is not terrible. Like I gobble up those packs of incense.
And Niantic/Scopely is slowly getting us to fill up those tickets. You know, to get our progress. Like everyone said, oh, I'm not going to do
the reward road.
But with these little interactions, all the rewards, it's like I meant to not have the ticket be as far advanced as it is right now, and it is. And I'm like, they got me again.
It's like that's the definition of like, hey, you good at this game? I'm like, bro, have you seen my reward road? I'm great at this game. I work.
Exactly.
My skill level is high, and by skill level, I mean my money. You know, no, it's it is what it is. You know, there's I definitely am at a place in my life, and I'm fortunate to do so, where yeah, I'm gonna throw money at the game because it's worth it for me to enhance my experience. Can I have a vanilla ass day of just going out and playing and not throwing items on and not using spatial rend and not doing anything? Sure, you know, let the Go Plus just kind of do its thing in the background. But for me, and if I'm gonna dedicate 3 hours to something, it's like, yeah, it's worth it for me to enhance those 3 hours. You know, sure, I can go on a walk by myself or go on a hike or something like that, and there's no cost out of pocket, right? It's just time and energy. But for this, I don't know. And again, this is coming from a privileged position. It's just like, I'm okay spending a couple bucks on the event. But like I said, we're going to get there when the couple bucks, the $1, the $2 turns into $7.99 and then $14.99 and $19.99, and then all the fixins are
$20 for the golden bottle cap, like
Dude.
you and Adam talked about last week. Like, if you think about it, $20 is worth it, but $20 is still $20.
Dude, that's a lot. You know, a lot of people are working an hour. They, you know, for gameplay that they may, you know, may wrap up quick. You know, so it's a lot. It's a lot to ask. But we also had Jangmo-o Community Day. Again, Jersey was a scorcher. It was like, I don't know, 90 something degrees or something like that for Jangmo-o. We were sweating, but the community did come out, which was fantastic. And I saw plenty of pictures of everybody out, but it's been, you kind of forget that the elements play such an incredible role in the success of community events. And, you know, it takes a certain type of trainer and a certain type of community leader to be able to wrangle the community on the days that it's brutally hot. Now, for us here in Jersey, we have Red Bank where we play, but 15 minutes away is Bell Labs, which is, that's where they do Severance. You know, we've shown this place on our socials a ton. It's an amazing place to play. You know, huge, giant indoor auditorium. We've packed it out with as many stops as we possibly can. It's not that great for power spots, not that great for rating, but guess what? They got an ice cream joint. It's air conditioned. There's chairs and bathrooms, like all the fixins, you know? So it's like, I'd be lying if, you know, the morning I'm looking at the weather and I'm like, yo, man, what do you think about Bell Works? You know, like, you know, it's like, no, let's hold it, you know, and shout to Fusion Joe, the ambassador in Red Bank, was like, nah, man, we got to hold the line, hold it down for Red Bank. We're going to be in Red Bank today. Suck it up, Buttercup. I was like, damn, bro, I'll see you there.
Yeah, so, there it is. Right. And when you have a community ambassador that's putting it on the line like that, you'll go out and do it.
Yeah.
Our community, you know, we're lucky in Charlotte. We've got 3 really good, talented, communicative community ambassadors. One in the north part of town, one in the central part of town, and one in the south part of town. And it's perfect. It like cuts the city in 3 and you always know where to go. So a good community ambassador go a long way. That being said, I played for a little over an hour. I got 10 shinies and I went home and sat in the air conditioning.
I'd be lying too if I said we didn't like slide into Surf Taco around like 4:40 or something like that. We're like, it's close to 5. Like we can reach 4 stops at a gym, you know, 2 gyms. Like, well, I think we'll be okay for the last 20 minutes. Kate the Cons in the chat. Yo, shout out to everybody who's here in the chat. Appreciate all the peeps that are here. Amphros, Mike,
wait a minute.
Likeable
Kate
Monster.
the Cons.
Kate the Cons is here. The executive
Kate
producer of the Wayspotters
producer
Podcast.
Of the Wayspotters Podcast.
Gang, gang.
Yes.
Kate always represents. Gang, gang. She always represents.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fisher J is here. Joe is here. First time chatter from Master Moo. Yo, what's up? 45.
Nice. What up?
But yeah, no, it's you know, Fisher J's got a comment in the chat here. Saying the game overall feels fresh. It might be because we're so close to Go Fest, but things are feeling positive. I agree. But I think that the sustainability of that may need some balance because it feels fresh for me because they're throwing so much stuff at us. There's multiple, having 2 like Go Pass ladders on the Today View is wild. Yeah. Like it's crazy.
It
then
is.
You've got all this other stuff mixed
wild.
in. Like the menus are so busy right now that you're constantly scrolling and collapsing and expanding and like all this stuff. There's so much going on.
I'm missing things. There were some things I don't scroll down far enough, and I'm like, wait, what? When did that happen? And I'm like, and then Ken, you're going to have the people that are buying the golden bottle cap. They're going to have up to a year, depending on how far they're moving it. They're going to have these tasks that are going to be hard. They're going to be challenging, but there's going to be a whole nother menu that people are going to be managing on there. So there's going to be a lot. You almost need an assistant to help you through the game these days.
There's a lot. And I'm one of those people that as soon as the event starts, I'm racing to clear my tasks on the, out of the time research slot.
Me too.
Like I'm that guy. I have that anxiety where it's like, I'm constantly checking the menus and it's disruptive. It's totally disruptive, but it fuels the gameplay because I'm pushing, and it's just like, oh man, I love playing with intent. So it's like if I know I need to catch a certain something or chase a certain something, it gives me a little bit more drive. So I don't mind that. But yeah, there's always that like slight feeling of being overwhelmed, especially when they do like 4 collection challenges and stuff. It's like it's brutal.
And if you're like me, you can't go home until you finish those tasks. Like you can't go home with something like 3 out of 5. Like, nope. I got to make 1 more lap because I got to find 2 more normal Pokemon or fire Pokemon or whatever. I can't go home without everything being in orange.
That was Adam at Go Fest.
It's a character flaw.
He was like, we played in the park a bit, and then we walked out of the Sunken Treasure Ring back to our notable trainer booth, and he's like, "Yo, I still need Totodile. We gotta go back. I can't leave."
That's right. I remember.
So
I can't leave.
End of the day, trudging back to the other side of the park, trying. He's like, "I see it, Totodile."
All the way back to the other side of the park. There it is.
Oh, it was so great. But no, this week has been awesome. I mean, we talked about Ancients Recovered previously, and when this event was first announced, it wasn't that exciting because we're like, dude, the Reggies again. Like, we've had the Reggies so many times. We just had Shadow Regigigas, and it didn't seem that interesting until they dropped the news of hyper training and the the Ancients Recovered pass, and that has been a huge driver and a $20 price tag. In the blog, they also slide in this little Pokemon web store, Fleeting Legends Ultra Ticket Box. Fleeting Legends, which gives you an encounter with a Galarian bird, $7.99. This is like ancillary to the event. Has nothing to do with like the Ancients being recovered.
Normally that'd be huge news. A Galarian bird, like that would be the headliner.
I do feel,
and not a throw in.
This feels a little transactional. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, I don't even remember what the tasks were, and I just kind of got through it, and I was like, "Oh, Galarian Moltres, all right, it's doo-doo, but it's like I got my bird." You know what I mean? Here's my $8 and give me the bird.
Right.
At least with the Go Pass, I can sleep a little bit at night going, "Oh, I'm getting X amount of lures out of this, or X amount of lucky eggs, and I'm getting some incubators, and I get these encounters, and I get all this stuff." It kind of helps me justify my own poor spending habits, but when it's something like this,
and the
where
completionist in you,
yes, exactly.
And the completionist in you gets to see get those tasks, and you can go and click and claim your reward. So it's like, yeah, it's transactional. Yeah, it's $8 for a bird, but I also did X, Y, and Z, and I got all these other things that came with it. So it's not like, here's the $8, give me my bird. You know?
Yep. Yeah. And again, just stacked on top of the other spending that you need to do, and getting this Go Pass, the Ancients Recovered one, for $20. A lot of people, everybody's still working on the June one, right? Because we're going to be, we'll blitz through it. We our daily points towards the pass are lifted during the weekend. So I'm sure if you're playing for a couple hours, you should be able to rip through, whatever's remaining there.
Yep.
But
now, Ken, question for you: Did you buy all 3 months going forward for the Go Pass? Remember when that was an option?
That was but that's different. That's the expedition access. that's the difference.
Right. Yes.
But yes, I did. Yes,
I just went ahead and bought all 3 months, so I didn't have to worry about it. That's right. That's a separate. We haven't even talked about that,
dude.
That's another thing you can buy.
I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. I sent a screenshot. Shout out to Sir Amanda in our Discord. She was like, "Hey, I put together a little guide here of all the things you could buy to help people understand like what's what and what to buy." And then she puts that, I go, "Oh, thank you so much." And then my next screenshot is just like my inbox that says like receipt from Xsolar, receipt from Xsolar, receipt from Xsolar. I'm like, yo, I'm the sucker, bro.
You're like, they got like me.
$40 gone. It was quick. It went quick. Oh, it was brutal. But no, this event kind of turned into something more. When I first saw the Reggies, I'm like, it's okay. When I saw the backgrounds, I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. We get some exclusive backgrounds. Backgrounds have definitely become a high priority for a lot of trainers. They really want shiny with a background, hundo with a background, things like that. But
they've created a whole new economy.
I agree.
I built a tag called location card for the backgrounds.
Yep.
And so now I'm using storage space for Pokemon that just have a special background, but for some reason I can't delete any of them, so I've kept them all. So it's a whole nother economy. But in my local area, people are wanting to trade them, so it's kind of created this whole, like Ken, you've always said, they're creating ways for us to stay engaged with the game. I love it because I love this game. But like, you have people who just PvP, and now you have people who only collect shiny backgrounds with the location card, or shiny Pokemon with the location card. And it's like a whole nother game inside of the game.
Yeah, no, and I love that about it because it tips the hat to the collecting element of the game. And, I'm still horrible at trading. Ask Adam. I delete my stuff before it's like, oh, you want to trade? It's like, oh, too bad. I just deleted 900 Pokemon in a row. Like,
the Howluchas.
Yeah, just gone. Like, I don't even have any left over. But this definitely creates more of a interpersonal connection. It's like, all right, let's bang out 100 trades, let's do this.
Mhm.
And yeah, they're definitely in high demand. And I'm going to pull up for the video viewers. I'm going to pull up my phone real quick. I did get 2 Regieleki with backgrounds, one from the research, and then one. The drop rates of these backgrounds when you're raiding either in person or remotely are horrendous. So it's like you kind of have to cycle through this repeating timed research to get your guaranteed one. And I did get a shiny Jangmo-o with the background, which is legit. So I was happy about that one.
Nice.
But if you want to get through and get each of your background Reggies like they promote in the blog, you have to raid 36 times. It's a special research to get an encounter with each of them. And but the good thing is, and I liked how they did this, is every time you completed the raid, you would get an encounter with another Reggie. So they're kind of like throwing legendaries out for everybody. But the goal of the research isn't to get another legendary. It's to get the background card with the legendary, which you have to complete.
Raids is a lot.
Dude, I'm looking at my friends list. There's people with 180 raids done. I'm like, y'all are crazy on the week before Go Fest. I was like, I can't do it. I'm at like 22 raids. I'm like, I'm chilling right now. I'm doing my minimum.
Where's JT Valor on there? He doesn't show up on my. Does he show up on your screen?
Let me see. I don't know. It's weird the way they do this with showing people, because sometimes I see like, hold up. Sometimes I see like people with crazy numbers, and then sometimes I don't even see JT Valor on here. I know he's done like a billion raids.
Yeah, I haven't seen him on. Yeah, I know he's done a ton.
Yeah, like the person I had that was at 180 raids isn't even showing up for me right now. So it's like, God, so weird, so weird. But no, this was an exciting event. Kept everyone busy, but it sneaks up on you. And I'll be the first to say that I've done way more remote raids this week than I have done in months, maybe, and it's just like,
how do you feel about that? You feel good about that?
No, I don't. I mean, again, it's like I was just saying, like, oh yeah, I'm okay spending a couple bucks, it's all right, it fits my lifestyle and my needs. And for me, it's like, yeah, I want to do these raids, I want to complete these loops of research, so yeah, I'll just buy the remotes. But it's like, you're telling me it's $10 for each of these researches because I'm doing 6 remote raids? I go, this is crazy talk, you know what I mean? Like, this is something else. So, I bought my, maximum 3 purchase bundles from the web store, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm taking shots. I'm like, going to the Discord. We have, our raid channel where we'll post up for remote raids. Shout to PokeNav. And, I'll put it on and be like, yo, anybody want to help a brother out? It's like 8:30 a.m. just getting to work. I'm like, I got a local raid. It's like, I got to take advantage of these. Now, luckily, these raids are easy. You know what I mean? So, like, you could solo Regidrago and stuff like that. So, it's not, you don't need a big group. But I'm sending invites to people, and I'm getting like someone on your friends list has reached their limit. And it's like, yo, the limit is 30, bro. Like, you guys are crazy out here. Right. It's like, this is totally nuts. But
never try to send Milo a raid. He's it's like, because he's 6 hours ahead of us. By the time we start raiding, he's done already.
Dude, he's good for him and Brandon Tan. They're good for like the 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. raids like invite. I'm like, yo, dude, every time I'm like, yes, I'll take it. It's like, I'm jumping in. And it's like every time I go in, Sue is in there. I'm like, Sue, you're in New Jersey. It's like 6 a.m. What are you doing? Why are you in this raid?
What are you doing?
Yeah, I guess I'm in the raid too. So what am I doing? I guess. But no, I think between Ancients Recovered, Jangmo-o, and Yamper, we had a very productive and busy week of gameplay. Although, I guess we've kind of covered this, but the game is asking a lot of trainers. And shout to JC Picks in Hawaii. He's still free to play, since day one, and he's a hardcore level 50 trainer. But I just can't imagine the amount of like joy that the game returns to trainers that aren't buying into these experiences, because the experiences are so dependent and are exclusive to the ticket holders. So, it's one thing to kind of weigh the pay to win and pay for convenience. And sometimes these tickets are a little bit of a blend of both, where, you're going to pay for convenience if you use the remote passes, but the only way to get the lucky trinket, or the only way to get the gold bottle cap is to buy into it. It's like, man, this is the
Gold
we
box.
talked about for a
Right.
year FOMO kind of settling down and going away, and it's like not anymore. Now it's like boom, instant FOMO. It's like, oh, you can't
Well, you
do
know,
36 raids, you ain't getting all these backgrounds. FOMO.
I look at somebody. Absolutely. I look at somebody like JC Picks, who's a hardcore grinder, level 50 trainer, and if I may say a better person. A much better person. Like, the dude is awesome. Like, I love him.
Hell yeah.
But I wish there was a way for the hardcore free to play trainer to be able to get the lucky trinket, because he grinds as hard as you and I do. He just uses coins based off of getting Pokemon out of gyms. But this, you have to actually spend real money. I wish there was like a super hard track that was like 3 times as hard as if you paid for it, to be able to get that would take out the auto catcher, or even 100 nice throws. You know, that would take out the auto catcher, and that would mean that they could guarantee you were spinning at least 100 times a day. That would take that out. I would love to see something like 100 nice throws 7 days in a row, and then put you on that track. Like, me, that gets me excited, because then I get to go out and play.
Casa the Cuban in the chat says, "Oh no."
Not excellence. That 999 excellence years ago dang near broke me, but like 100 nice throws. Like, we could all do 100 nice throws. Just turn off the auto catcher for a minute and do 100 nice throws.
You know what? I do like that, to just slice the auto catcher right out. You know what I mean? Like, you have to play. I do like that. All right, we got to move on, because we still have a couple bits of news here, and I want to just touch on a couple things real quick, and we're gonna zoom through them. We did get Ultra Unlock information. We don't know what our global challenges will be. You know, it's probably like complete raids, complete eggs, you know, walk this many, catch this many Pokemon. We don't know what those are yet, but we do have information on the Ultra Unlocks for the weekend for global. And I'm going to pull that up really quick. The Ultra Unlock Part 1 Hisui Celebration. If trainers complete 15 hourly global challenges, they'll boost Hisui Celebration, which is a July 8th event. Part 2, 30 global challenges. It will boost Steel and Scales, which takes place on July 22nd. And Part 3, 45 global challenges. Origin Raid Day, which will take place on Sunday, August 10th. So this stuff is going to stretch all the way out to August. There's no doubt in my mind we're going to defeat the global challenges. I don't think there's been one to date we failed. You know, even like, you know, GoFest 2017, where no one had service. It's like, why is the bar still moving? Like, no one's catching anything right now. We can't even log in. It's like, oh, we just caught another 10,000 Pokemon. It's like, no, we didn't. Come on. You know what I mean? But we haven't, you know, ever failed. So I'm sure we're going to hit all this stuff. And we don't know the details yet of each of these events: Hisui Celebration, Steel and Scales, and Origin Raid Day. So all speculation at this point, but we do have dates for the events that will be impacted by the global challenges and the Ultra Unlock. So that's pretty cool to see, because you know, this just enhances those events and just gives you an extra little bit of incentive to get out and play. Even if it's something like, okay, now this event, which was already probably pretty cool, now has double dust. It's like, oh, okay, I'll take it. You know, I'll be there for sure. So plenty to get excited there, but we don't know exactly what it is. Okay, saying someone in the chat says the stream's struggling. Sorry if we have a little lag going right now. My bad. One more bit of miscellaneous news here. We have info on the adventure effects for Zacian and Zamazenta. This is Behemoth Blade, Behemoth Bash. A little bit different the way it functions compared to the other Pokemon that have adventure effects. This one coming in 6-minute increments with Behemoth Blade, and they don't give us a scale here, but Behemoth Blade increasing the damage in attacks your Pokemon gives in raids. So it makes your raid effectiveness increase using Zacian's Behemoth Blade effect. 5,000 Stardust and 5 candy for 6 minutes. And Behemoth Bash, same thing, but on the defensive side. So gives you increased defense in raids and max battles for 6 minutes. Again, remember, because Crown Forms with Behemoth Blade can use them in max battle, so you get a little bit more play and diversity out of them. But I do like this, because this is a side, you know, kind of adjacent way to support rural trainers and support people that have
Mhm.
less numbers in person, because now you can get a little bit more strategic if you're shorting a raid. Well,
Right.
I could throw a mushroom down and I can do this in my max battle, or I can, reinforce our defense. I have got my level 50 Blissey. It gives trainers a way to have a strategical edge that we didn't have before, which could be the difference between, Adam said he did one the other day, the Gmax with 7 or 8 people, but there was like a bunch of mushrooms down in the party, and it's like,
Right.
well,
And before it, he would have needed 15 to 25.
so I like this because without them coming out here and saying, like, there's Fusion Joe right there, there's a couple of the Red Bank crew in the video here on screen, but they talked to Wayne, and he just kind of explains the whole ambassador program.
That was a great video.
Dude. I felt exceptionally charged up and exceptionally inspired by all of it, and it really kind of reminded me how important having key people in the community is to the success of a community. We've had quite a bit of challenges over the years with getting communities together. From in 2017 trying to move the bulk of the community from Facebook to Discord, and then in 2022 like introducing Campfire, and then doing all this stuff. We've had so many struggles and changes. It's so great to have a program like the Ambassador program now that's kind of helping people stay on track, stay motivated, and give them a trajectory to be like, hey, if you want to stay up with the community or stay up with what's going on, you could find it all in one spot right now. And if you've already got a Niantic account or a Scopely account or a Pokemon Go account, you're good. So I remember when Campfire first came out and we're like, oh, a separate app, this is going to be horrible. Like, who wants to have a separate app? It's fine. And even people that aren't savvy, once they get in Campfire, it's like, it feels a lot better. And wait till these campsites.
Some people only message me in Campfire, where we were always friends on Discord, and now I'm like, dude, they're like, yeah, I'll send it to you on Campfire. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, all right.
It's great though. It's like, I'll take it. It's awesome. I love to hear it because, it's finally coming through and coming around. All right, I say we take a little break. We come back. We're going to talk about a couple bits of miscellaneous news. We got our 9th anniversary celebration event we'll talk about, and then we'll dig into this Wayfair action that's happening in North Carolina and actually across a couple different areas too. So
yes.
All right, awesome. We will talk about that, but we'll be back right after this. Hey chat, sorry if the stream is struggling a little bit. I'm seeing like alerts that we just went live again, so I think the stream went down and came back up. But we've got heat wave in Jersey, so maybe
I noticed it's you. Yeah, I was gonna say I know you've been glitching a little bit here and there, but not terribly bad. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. I'll be right back.
Hi chat. Appreciate everybody being here. Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley. Love that. That's so funny. I got to tell Agent X that. But we are currently on break. We'll be back in just a few moments.
All right, I'm ready. I just had to get some ice in my water. I'm
Cleveland
ready to go.
Guardians can send you invites. Yes, Cleveland. Yes, Fisher, send me invites, man. I want to get those background Pikachu. That's so good. Yeah, totally want those. All right, give me a second. Bro, I gotta tell Agent X. Someone in the chat said that they thought we were Bubba Ray and Devin Dudley. Boys are wrestlers. That's so good.
Devon, get the tables. Oh,
I gotta
man.
tell Agent X. That's
That's
so
when you know a
funny.
good time was about to be had.
Dude,
Yeah, he'll appreciate
I
that.
got a picture of him pulled up right.
It's the
So
tape.
funny, dude. It's so good. Oh God. Oh, it's so funny. I love it. I love it so much. Pull it up on screen right now.
Oh, Bubba Ray.
Shoot. I love it. All right, you ready to get back in there?
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready.
Right. Pull up my document. And we are back from our break. Thank you so very much for that. We are hydrated so we don't dehydrate and all tuckered in. We were just laughing so much because there was someone in the chat earlier that said that they thought that we were Bubba Ray. And look at this. Hold on, I got to pull up the pictures again. It's so good.
It's so good.
Dude,
It's so spot on.
It's so funny.
It is so spot on. It's like, it's right there. It's got us.
Oh, but I want to take a moment to just recognize some of our patrons. Huge thank you to our gym leaders, Ben, Brandy, Espy, and Willow, Herbert, KJ, and Matthew. Special thanks to our executive producers, Xander, as well as the other executive producers on the network, Monkey Bread, Tish Smith, and Kate the Cons. And a very special shout out to Trainer Mystic for supporting us on Patreon at the Elite 4 trainer tier, which means that there's just 3 of those left right now. So there's still 3 spots if anyone wants to jump in. But make sure you check out PokemonProfessor.com for links to everywhere you can connect with the show, grab some merch, check out all the different shows on the network, and all that good stuff over at PokemonProfessor.com. All right, back to the action. We have a couple bits to cover. You know, I guess we don't even really need to go into July too much, besides the fact that Solgaleo and Lunala are coming back as tier 5 raids, which is big. And again,
that's another thing that they just kind of just snuck in there. Dude. Like, that could have been its whole headline.
Fest Global Pokemon, so I can trade them next week during the 9th anniversary event. But we did speak directly with Niantic and got some information regarding how the Gimme Ghoul thing will work. Both the regular Gimme Ghoul and the 9th anniversary coin Gimme Ghoul can be shiny. And I'm going to pull up the Twitter here really quick because I put a post that kind of detailed exactly what we had heard from Niantic. Where is it? Here it is. I'll pull it up on screen. It says, both the normal and 9th anniversary Gimme Ghoul can be shiny. 9th anniversary Gimme Ghoul cannot be encountered from golden lures. So only regular Gimme Ghoul from golden lures. The 9th anniversary one,
that's good to know.
Only available via field research, timed research, and the encounter from the coin bag. It cannot evolve. So the costume one cannot evolve. And the shiny is only available during the event. So this is going to be like a you know, a Meltan situation where it's like, it'll be out for the event and then go away, and you know they'll gatekeep it for another year,
which is going to increase its rarity. Exactly. So encourage training, all of that. Exactly. So Ken, I heard something. I know you said you didn't want to talk about July, but I want to ask you one question. So at Raid Hour, people were talking about the costume Bulbasaur might be able to evolve in July.
Yeah. So as part of this event, they are releasing Ivysaur and Venusaur with the party hat. So because of that same party hat should be able to evolve up. It's the the polka dot one. So I'm assuming they'll be all able to evolve. You're not just going to be raiding or catching Ivysaur and Venusaur. Like you'll be able to evolve up. But
somebody at Raid Hour has a shiny Hundo Bulbasaur with the party hat. And they are very, very excited.
It's funny because I remember a lot of people catching these and being like, Adam was the person too. Like, they can't evolve. This is the worst, So it's like, oh, that's so funny. All right, let's see what else we have. So that's the 9th anniversary party, July 1st. Quaxley was announced as the Community Day Pokemon for Sunday, July 20th. So still a few weeks out, but triple dust. Mm-hmm. So just make note of that. The Go Stamp rally that they did in Japan is now coming to Europe. I just think this is a really cool concept. This is to push the Mega Evolutions. This is just a very cool way to interact and cross the bridge between digital and real. I just think it's very, very cool.
But that is cool.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see more information and stuff like this coming as we get closer. But this is pushing all the way to September, so it's like that's still very far out, but a lot of cool stuff to talk about. But the big news here,
school will be back in,
that I need to talk to you about, Jamal, is this
post in the
Niantic Wayfarer community forums that's just called. This is from Jay Laura. It says, Wayspots gone, Jacksonville, North Carolina, and Hunt community. And the post says, after updating the game, dozens of Pokestops around me are gone for me and my wife. If you upload, they now have the exclamation mark, so not in Pokemon Go. They are valid POIs, so I don't know if this was an unintended bug with the last update, but hundreds of stops are now gone from my area. Really bad bug or design weeks before the Go Fest. Okay. So this post was 7 days ago on the 18th. Mm-hmm. Now, on the screen, and I'll read it out here, Niantic Aaron, who, again, advocate for Aaron because he's the voice of Wayfarer and you know, will definitely, he's not afraid to stick his posts in between the community, which is fantastic and very appreciated. But he just jumps in.
Aaron is my guy. Yeah. Love Aaron.
And he says, this entire area has been removed from Pokemon Go at the request of the property owners. Period. And goes back into the bushes like Homer. You know what I mean? Just
right.
like
Homer Simpson.
Exactly. Just like disappears. And because of this thread has gone on and on and on of people speculating and showing the areas before, and these were densely, populated areas packed with POIs. Like it looked so intentionally built, and not only intentionally built from the Pigo perspective, but because there's multiple POI in these S2s, like this has been here since Ingress. And like,
yes,
this is a long-standing, well-built community, and people wake up and it's gone. So Jamal, what insight can you give us to figuring out why this would happen?
Stops, gyms, spawns, all gone. Okay, so I did a little digging around on multiple different sites and kind of talking to people. So what we've noticed is this seems to be affecting cities and townships that have a U.S. Marine base in their city. So we have Camp Lejeune, which is in Jacksonville, North Carolina. We have Camp Pendleton in Oceanside, California, Quantico U.S. Marine Base, and the Marine Corps recruiting depot in Parris Island in Beaufort, South Carolina, all wiped out. Not just the POIs on the base, but the surrounding areas. So we're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of POIs all gone. Now, because Scopely and Niantic have split, I'm unable to verify if they're still in Ingress because that map is not being updated anymore. Aaron was not very clear, I think probably on purpose, in the forum as to what has happened. I'm not close enough to Jacksonville where I'm at in North Carolina to see if it's there. But this is huge, Ken. This is one of those things where I'm concerned that it could be bigger than this. You know, I need to have my tinfoil hat on, and I know we're going to get there in a second. But that's what we know right now. The four biggest marine bases in the United States, except for mostly on the East Coast, except for Camp Pendleton, have all been wiped. The entire areas, surrounding cities, it's big, and it's affecting people. You know, we're just, less than a week out from GoFest Global, and some of these people bought tickets months ago, and now they don't have a place to play local. So this could either be a 4-city isolated event or something foretelling something to come that's bigger.
Yeah, this is wild. Now, I remember this at a small scale early in the game before businesses knew what the power of Pokemon Go was, before the businesses knew that if there was POI that was existing, Ingress era, that it would draw people to their location. So, I remember I was living in Eatontown, New Jersey, and there was this, cemetery that people would play at. And, you know, it's definitely weird when all of a sudden this, little family based cemetery has got like a row of 30 cars parked in it. And it's like everyone's walking
Right.
around and hanging out, having a good time. It's like, this is strange. And then we wake up one day and this was early in the game. So, I mean, there was probably like 8 stops and we were like, this is madness. It was probably like 8 stops, but they all disappeared overnight. And at that point, I would pull up and be like, and I would have like, I remember once a cop pulled behind me. He's like, yo, what are you doing here, bro? And I'm like, oh, I was going to play Pokemon. He's like, yeah, you can't play here anymore. So it was like an active thing. I was like, oh, this has to be all related. So looking at Aaron's feedback saying, yeah, these were pulled at the request of the property owners. But what's confusing is you said that this pushes beyond the borders of the military bases.
Yes.
And
so I wanted to elaborate a little bit on
I've
that.
got the picture pulled up, and it shows the whole huge park, Sturgeon City Park.
So what's interesting is there was a few people who were local to the area. Big Wash here. Give shout out to them. They did a really comprehensive job of detailing all of the POIs that were removed. And they understood. So they went and they found who could potentially be the property owner for each POI, the city, the parks department, the military, the cemetery. They said there's really no way logistically that all of these entities could have talked to each other on the same day at the same time and said, hey, we want these removed. If it was just the military base, I could understand. Chris and I are going to get into like 15 conspiracy theories and play the X-Files music on, is the U.S. government paranoid? Yes, they are. But reasons why this can happen. But Ken, people were like, how could the Parks Department and all of these different entities all get together on one day and have it removed? And Aaron's like, I cannot confirm what our conversations was with a third party to let you know who it even was. As I look at it now, it's hard for me to even fathom how all of these people would have talked, all the property owners, all the business owners, the government, the military. Everybody got together, kumbaya, and said, let's remove these POIs. Like, there's something bigger going on that I would love to know, and I'm digging into it, trying to find out what's going on.
Yeah, this is, and I'll pull up Niantic Aaron's follow-up. It says, we do our due diligence before taking actions. While our policies forbid us from sharing the details of our conversations with any third party, I can assure you that the requester had the authority to request this removal. I understand your frustration, but there's nothing we can do. And when it comes to the Wayfarer community, and Jamal, obviously, you know this better than I, but when it comes to the Wayfarer community looking out, and lurking from the outside, you're going to have a large segment of Wayfinders that are going to be like, oh, Niantic Aaron said, this is what it is. Let's move on. Yep. And then you have the, equally the other half going like, no, he said this, so we have to dig in. Like, and,
right.
It's taking it for face value. And he says, like, I can assure you that the requester had the authority to request this removal. It's like the requester, if they're talking about this being one thing or one person, there's no way that this is coincidentally happening in 4 different parts of the country, and it's all happening.
Correct.
And they all happen to have, again, throw the tinfoil hat on. They all happen to have a Marines base there. There's got to be something else attached to this that, I've already chalked up to, we'll never know, right? We'll never know the real reasons, but we can speculate, we can guess. Now, yes, before Go Fest, definitely in bad taste. It's going to leave a bad taste in a lot of trainers' mouths because they're ready to play. I don't know, and I encourage anyone, if you are in any of these areas or know of anyone in these areas, to have them reach out to us. But some of these they're not in like rural areas. They're in metro areas. So because of that, these game boards are built, and there has to be existing communities, private communities, campfire communities, and potentially ambassador communities in these areas. So I want to hear from the ambassador who's gone through the process, gone through the onboarding, did all their due diligence to build their community, get a community together to have something on the map, create this incredible, experience for the community to wake up one day and be like, well, guess what? We can't have our event anymore because the game board was wiped. And I also want to make sure that we clarify, it's not just that the POI are gone. This is a total blackout, similar to like if you went to the GoFest Park experience on your non-play day. There's just nothing there.
Yes.
No natural spawns.
There's no spawns.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You could throw an incense on and that's it. You know what I mean? There's nothing happening in the game. And even if there was, because of the geofence, you wouldn't be able to interact with it. So,
and Jacksonville isn't a small town, but it's not a big town. It's big enough to where 100 POIs is a big deal.
Sure.
You know, if you took 100 POIs out of New York City, you just go play somewhere else. There's nowhere else to go in Jacksonville. You might have to go 50, 60 miles south to Wilmington or even a little further to Myrtle Beach. But it's essentially, Ken, like you pulled up the map, it's essentially the entire town of Jacksonville is gone.
Yeah.
And I understand Niantic's position of they don't talk about what goes on with the third party. But if Niantic is listening right now, what I want them to hear is when you have such an effect on such a big area of trainers, and I know the Jacksonville area, you know, it's not local to me, but I sometimes get reviews from there, and I had my bonus area in Myrtle Beach. Over the last 5-6 years, there's been a consistent effort to build up that area to get it to where it's a nice place to play. People go to vacation at beach houses in Jacksonville. Think about any of your beach communities, and there's, you know, the Piggly Wiggly statue out in front of the store and the pancake joint. Like, all of that is gone. Like, it's an entire resort town just wiped off the map. And if Niantic is listening, I think you kind of owe the players of those 4 areas a little bit more of an explanation other than the requester, you know, this requester in quotes. Like, if it's the military, just say, hey, the U.S. Marine Corps does not want us on the base or anywhere surrounding. Okay, I can accept that. That's when I would put a period at the end of the sentence. But the requester, you know, you've got people in Jacksonville putting together well, what's that online petition site that they have? I'm drawing a blank on it. Change.org. People are trying to put together a change.org to send to Niantic to get an explanation or to get the POIs back. And there's a few people that are on that thread, Ken, that are going to local businesses saying, hey, did you report this? And the businesses are saying no. And what Aaron is saying is there's nothing we can do because of the requester. So no one knows who the requester is. And I think Niantic owes those people a little bit of an explanation just so they can put a period at the end of the sentence. Because right now, even though Aaron said that, there's still a lot of questions. And that thread has continued to go and go and go with speculation because they kind of left it open.
Yeah. And the issue here really is this privacy thing, right? Well, we can't talk about, you know, the third party. I'm sure what Niantic, Scopely, what they don't want is people pestering businesses. Like, I know we're inquisitive people. Wayfinders are an inquisitive bunch, right? And of course, you know, you go to Piggly Wiggly, go to your local pizza shop, you're you know, can just talk shop and stuff like that with them. No problem, no harm, no foul. What you don't want to get into doing is trying to call the government or call the military base or call emergency services.
Exactly.
Don't do that. I do want to pull up one more post that's in this thread. This one from D-Train. Says, the way spots are still in the system, most likely to discourage players to resubmit the missing spots. They just don't show up in PGO. The only issue is that the area could now be geo-blocked, so nominations would most likely be rejected by Emily. Now, Emily's coming back. What's the deal with Emily? Emily's the machine learning tool on in Wayfarer.
Yes. Emily only rejects. Emily does not approve anymore. Only rejects. So kind of the worst of the worst, or the Captain Obvious Cole, is rejected by Emily. So things that are duplicates, things that are like people's faces, license plates, things like that are rejected automatically by Emily, usually within the first 24 hours.
Yeah, I just think that this is you know, I don't know if this is all we're going to hear of this. I think that there might be other communities this has happened to that it just hasn't gotten out to the forums yet. This could be something that continues to happen as we go forward. So we have to keep an eye on it. You know, Wayfinders spend a lot of time and effort building these maps. So it's a bummer when they just vanish, and not having, it's kind of like that meme of James Franco, and he's like, on the block, and he's like looking over like first time. It's like, we know that we're not getting answers from Niantic. We just know,
Right,
we're not gonna get that. But like,
you got the noose on your neck.
But like Wayfair, you got a little bit more flexibility because they do have, consumer facing representatives like Aaron and stuff like that.
Yes.
But I just don't know if we'll ever figure this one out. And I'm hoping that we don't, in a week or two, hear about 2 more communities in different states of the country, or this or that, or maybe there's an American military base in a different country and this happens there too. Like, we have to, try to, as inquisitive people, put together what we can with the information we have. And that's why we're putting the APB out. Like, let us know if you hear any chatter on this. Keep us posted.
Let us know. Reach out to us. We have lots of socials.
Yeah.
And then, Ken, I know we're running long, but there's lots of speculation on Reddit as to why this is happening. And I don't know if you want to get into this or we'll talk about it later, but there's lots of speculation, dealing with Scopely and who bought Scopely and how that plays into it, and scanning on military bases. I mean, this thing goes deeper and deeper depending on which rabbit hole you go down and which conspiracy theory you believe or buy into. Again, we'll never get the answer, but Chris and I are going to try to have some fun trying to figure it out. But one of the prevailing thoughts on Reddit is because the parent company of Scopely is owned by a company out of Saudi Arabia, that the U.S. government has gotten paranoid and said, we don't want any kind of data tracking on any one of our bases where the newest recruit comes in. So if you look at 2 of the bases that were wiped are where new recruits come in on the East Coast and the West Coast, and then Quantico, Virginia is where, at the FBI and CIA and all that other stuff is. And there's been speculation that, you can scan different POIs on the base, which gives a lot of data to Scopely. Now, Scopely said through many different channels that all the information we scan and everything stays in the U.S., but who's to know if someone's not paranoid? But if I'm looking at it through that lens, I can say, sure, that could be a security breach, but, they've got 9 years of data already. So, I mean, if they don't have it by now, they're not going to get it. So, there's a lot of different things and a lot of, holes to jump down. I would just love a little closure, but I just feel for those people who are preparing for GoFest Global.
Yeah.
And now they're going to have to, get in the car and drive 50 or 60 miles to go find another place to play that was similar to what they had in their town.
Yeah, it's a total shock to the system, and everything is speculation at this point. But because this is centered around military bases, it does make you think that there's something larger going on that's a little bit more comprehensive than just like, oh yeah, the businesses don't want the traffic, or there's a parking issue in the downtown, so let's lift this. We don't know what it is, but shockingly enough, I mean, Scopely, and again, I'm gonna pull up my Twitter, and this will be the last thing we talk about today. But I saw, I follow all the employees of Scopely on LinkedIn and all that stuff, so I'm kind of trying to keep aware of what they're doing, because they're the new parent, right? So I saw that there was Scopely had announced that they were nominated for some On Conference's Icon Awards, and these awards were for like the corporate council and marketing team and stuff like that, and it's open voting. So you can check this out over at Scopely on X. And I retweeted this, and I'm like, hey, support the new homies. You know what I mean? Like, let's give them some votes. And I was pretty shocked to see a couple people in the comments going, the Saudi Arabia connection is going to prevent me from voting here. And I stopped playing the game because of this. And I'm like, yo, I remember we were talking about this in the beginning when we first learned of Scopely and the Sovereign Fund and all that. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy. We were like, I wonder if this is going to have any impact or ramifications down the road. And it's like, yo, we're really seeing it right now. And again, we don't know what the heck is going on, but it's like, we aren't just talking about geolocation data. We're talking about data of where we shop and how we spend our money and
That's right.
how we move and
Yep.
how often we move and where we
That's
move.
right.
So there's more to it than just, looking through the AR lens and things like that. So definitely an interesting one. We're going to everyone's got to check out Wayspotters next week, because I'm sure it's going to be spicy, and I'm sure I can't wait to hear what Glaw thinks about all this. But Glaw's
got a lot of good stuff. He's oh boy, I got a peek at it. He's going to be ready for bear.
No, I picture him like, like opening the book and it just like keeps unfurling like 300 miles. Like, I got some notes here. It's like, it just rolls down the hallway, like all the way down the aisle.
It's going to be a good one.
But dude, thank you so much for joining me here today on Lured Up.
It was my pleasure.
For Adam, this was a lot of fun, and really excited to have you. Make sure, everyone, that you check out Wayspotters. Just head over to wayspotters.com and check out the link tree, connect with them on all their socials, and give the show a follow. It's pretty informative and easy to digest for people that are just getting into Wayfarer. I think that's one of the charms of the show, is they're talking about a very niche and detailed technical subject, but are able to do it in a way that doesn't make you feel overwhelmed right out of the gate. So it's a nice show. So check out wayspotters.com. Thank you, everyone. You can check us out. We're at PokemonProfessor.com, all the shows on the different network. You can email us, luredup@PokemonProfessor.com. You can call us, 732-835-8639. But Jamal, I think that's a show. We did it. Thank you again. Appreciate you.
We did it. That's a show. We did it.
All right. Keep training, trainers. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. Later.